Why do you think your client come to you for help?
Hopefully they come to me because I'm going to be honest and I'm going to give them great answers and great assistance and to help them be the best that they can be.
When you say be the best or maybe get a result from you, what kind of best, what kind of result? How do you measure that?
Things that happen in our body when we laugh, but happier people tend to live longer. Just when they get sick, they deal with it differently. One of the things I go to doctors a lot. I still have to deal with a lot dealing with my cancer diagnosis. And so one of my goals is that I make my medical care providers, whether it's a doctor, a nurse, whoever, that I make them laugh because they have really, really hard jobs. They are truly dealing with life and death. And so can I make them laugh? One of my doctors that she always looks forward to my appointments because she enjoys spending time with me. How many doctors say that about a patient, right? But yeah, I think happiness, being happy, and again, it is a choice. I am not always happy. There are times where I'm cranky. I am not happy at the world. I have physical limitations now that I did not have 10 years ago. And so there are times where I'm just mad. But then it is my choice to say, okay, now it's time to move on and it's time to be happy again. And maybe it takes, watching something on TV or, I live in Atlanta and we're starting to have spring here. And so flowers are blooming. Right? Go out and truly smell the flowers. But yeah, it is your choice to be happy, or is your choice to dwell on the negatives?
All right. That's a good advice to take home. You are putting the ball in their courts or those who are listening, Meaning you are the one on the driver's seat.
Right.
So drive anywhere you want to go, whichever way you want to.
Right. And we're not ignoring the bad things. And I think that is the important thing to remember is those bad things are going to happen, and so we have them. And the important thing is to deal with them and then to go on.
Absolutely. How do you usually deal with them? Do you ignore them or just pretend that they are not there?
It depends on what it is. Some of them I just ignore and I'm like, okay, whatever. Is it something that I have control of? If I have control over it, then that's very different. If it's something that I don't have control of, well, then I might be able to ignore it or pretend that it's not there. Obviously, it depends on what it is. There are things that we definitely should not ignore. Our health is one of those. Our mental health, our physical health, we should not ignore if we think there's something that needs attending to with those. Relationships, all of those things. But yeah, if I don't really have any control over it, then I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about it.
All right. Let me put a question to you like this, Deb. Why do you think your client come to you for help?
Hopefully they come to me because I'm going to be honest and I'm going to give them great answers and great assistance and to help them be the best that they can be.
When you say be the best or maybe get a result from you, what kind of best, what kind of result? How do you measure that?
That's interesting because say for my clients that I'm working with on their social media, there are numbers, right? How many people liked this post? And to me, I'm not a big fan of those numbers because we don't always know what is going on. And I think maybe it's at the end of the day that we're thinking we did the best that we could. Could we improve it? Sure. We can always make improvements. Nobody's perfect and nothing that we do is perfect. And so we can always make improvements and learn from the things that went wrong. But I think it's about, how can we be happy at the end of the day that we did do the best that we could do that day.
All right, now let's look at you there, looking at your own numbers, whether it is the sales, the number of people that commented or like, or okay, those vanity metrics, no?
Right.
What make you happy about that?
Well, I'm human. I like to see bigger numbers, right? But I'm also a marketing person. And one of the things that I talk to people about is what are the right numbers? You might have, for example, Facebook, you might have 10,000 friends on Facebook. But if 9,900 of them will never interact with you, will never even like your post, whatever, then they don't really count. And so we need to figure out who the right people are and be dealing with them. I mean, and that truly is what I work with people when we're working with them on marketing, because we'll ask them, who is your potential client? And they will say everybody. Well, that's not true. There is no product that I can think of that every single person would want to buy or use. Starbucks is a very, they know who wants their coffee. Walmart knows who's going to buy their products. And they don't even market to anybody else. They might hear the messaging, right? But yeah, it's all about finding the right people. So it is quality is more important than quantity.
All right, that is very interesting. I like the analogy you were giving, or maybe somebody having a lot of numbers on Facebook, but maybe 99% of them are never going to buy or react. Now, tell me, how do you know the right number or the right audience so that you can market specifically to those audience? How do you figure it out?
Sometimes it's trial and error, and I think we need to determine who we want to be working with, and then develop our product or our service or whatever it is for them, and again, if we're doing it right, they will come to us. And so I think it is very important to figure that out. I've used this analogy before where, I was working with someone and she, we asked target audience was, and she sold skincare products, right? Lotion. And she said, well, everybody, because everybody has skin, which, okay, she's right about that. Everybody does have skin. But when we needed to think about somebody to refer to her, we couldn't come up with anything. And so when she decided that her market was going to be 16-year-old boys who had acne, every single person she talked to knew somebody that they could refer to her because